Let's talk about how to make money as a designer and actually earn a living. All right, so this video is going to be focused on different specialties or focuses as a designer and how you can turn those into a career, or if you want to use those to build out your own freelance business. First up on the list is logo designer. This is a staple of design because it's a front-facing asset, so it's one of the first things someone's going to see when they're getting accustomed to your brand. Logo design is going to be great for those who know how to take a concept or image and turn it into a design, something that's going to really resonate to the audience or crowd that the brand is trying to market to. So that could be something very specific to that brand, or it could be something that's symbolic, like the Nike symbol for Nike. From my research, you can make as much as $77,000 or more per year as a logo designer. That's not bad at all. I personally charge anywhere from upwards to the most I've ever been paid for a logo was $23,000. So you can make a pretty penny from logo design, especially when you start to add on those other brand identity parts like the brand guide, the color palette, the font packages, and stuff like that. Next up on the list is movie poster design. Now, don't get me wrong, movie companies are always going to have their go-to artists. It is what it is, but they're always looking for artists to make alternative posters. And that's where me and you come in. Now, you can either be hired on by a company just to create these different type of adverts, or you can turn them into a client. Now, my personal experience is with Netflix, but there's Hulu, there's Starz, there's HBO Max, Showtime. There's so many different brands that are needing artists to create these different type of designs, because they have the ones that are supplied by the companies, but they always like those alt versions because the fans can interact with them in a different way. So if you're someone that likes to watch movies in advance, or at least get to create artwork based on your favorite movies and TV shows, movie poster art is definitely an alley for you. If logo design and movie posters don't interest you, there's always this next one, and that's merch design, aka apparel. This is similar to movie posters because not only are you creating dope work, you're getting paid for it, but you're getting your work put on the backs of hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of people, and it's your art. It's something that you can be proud of, and it's tangible. You can actually touch that and actually see your work in person. The good thing about this career path too is that it covers a wide range of niches inside and outside of the design industry. So you can go from churches to conferences to speakers to people with personal brands to bigger brands and everything in between. Merch design is always going to be needed, and if you can become known for that, you're going to make a great living doing designs that at the end of the day, you'll be able to put in your hand and rock it yourself. Next up on the list is probably the most important on this list, and it's pitch deck designers. And I'm going to tell you now, if you're not taking notes, this is the one thing that you should take notes on. This one's a gem. So what a pitch deck designer does is they take an idea or concept from a brand, and then they make it visually engaging. And this is so important because it's different than a website and it's different than brand guidelines. This is a pitch and it's for investors. So there's a few things you should note here. If a brand is preparing to pitch to investors, that's a brand you want to work with because they're at a stage where they're ready to accelerate. And you're one of those bridges between the gap of investor and business. Now, the elephant in the room is that you can't bring a pre-made Canva design to a potential $5 million investor. That's just not going to get it done. So whether that's $1, $2, $3, $5, $10,000, depending on the size of the deck, you can command a nice income because you know that you're going to help them get to the endpoint that they're trying to get to. Okay, before I get to the last one on the list, I just want to give you an honorable mention, and this is a very honorable mention, and it's prompt engineer. I was trying to decide if I was going to mention this because it's not technically design or really any space right now. It's this new space of talking to AI and actually understanding how to do that. So pretty much what prompt engineering is someone that specializes in designing or articulating a certain type of prompt that's going to give you a certain type of result when you're working with these different AI bots or engines, whether it's ChatGPT, Midjourney, or one of these other ones. So imagine you study ChatGPT and understand how to talk to it to get the exact thing that your client is looking for without the back and forth or without trying to figure out the in-betweens. Those people are earning anywhere between $175,000 to $300,000 or more a year. This is a serious field to get into, and at the moment, there are not many experts in the field. So maybe you could be one of them. Last on the list is creative director. This is an interesting aspect that I'm going through right now in certain parts of my career where I'm getting paid more to teach about how I design versus actually designing. So a creative director is someone that's going to implement not only ways that they design in the company, but also the ways they think and how they get through these different processes. So imagine having a team under you that have the technical skills that you have, but just need to learn how to be creative with those things. That's where you come in, and that's where you help people when it comes to strategy, tactics, and marketing, as well as designing. So what would my approach be with this knowledge? If I'm a freelancer working from home, I'm going to go in and start to master some of these from this list and add it to your tool belt, because that's going to make you really marketable when companies are looking at your resume or portfolio when they're trying to figure out if they're going to hire you for those projects. These things are going to help you look very marketable. If I'm looking to get a job, I'm going to master a few of these and I'm going to put those on my resume as my expertise. And then you put your resume out there and use that as your leverage when you're starting to push to these companies what you can do. I made a name for myself with flyers and posters and that kind of eye-catching art. And the funny thing about it is most of you watching this probably have no idea who I was before this YouTube channel. But that's the beauty of this whole conversation. I'm a six-figure earner and I've been working from home for a long time. So we are out here, and I'll let you in on a little secret that not many people will tell you. There's plenty of room at the table for all of us to eat, and you don't need a whole bunch of followers or views to get it done. And I'm living proof of that. It's Jet.